Welcome, Rough City Athletics family. Today, we're going to be going over the first in the series for powerlifting for aesthetics. Powerlifting for aesthetics is a concept that we've been utilizing with a lot of our clients where we are looking to get an aesthetic appearance, a very strong, muscular look, utilizing the squat, bench, and deadlift. So when we look at this, a lot of powerlifters are very strong individuals, and the ones who train in a certain manner look really great. They have a look that a lot of people are after. It's a dense, strong look where we have muscular thighs, muscular upper body, a relatively lean body, so it looks very toned, and that's what a lot of individuals are after. In saying that, we have been working on developing this concept where we are chasing down that aesthetic look while also getting people very strong. So every week we're going to be bringing you a video to go over different aspects of powerlifting and how you can utilize that in your training. Today we're going to be going over the bench press. So the first thing that we're going to do in the bench press is look at the arch. One thing that separates powerlifting from a lot of other sports is the arch. A lot of other training ways, like if you were training for bench press or for football and you use the bench press, generally people don't arch very much. And so that's something that powerlifting does very differently. So what I'm going to go over is what the arch is, why you should do it, and how to improve it. So the first thing, what is the arch? Well, the arch is when I'm laying on a bench, I've got my ribs popped up, essentially. That's the basics of it. Now, should you arch? I would say that everyone should have somewhat of an arch. It helps to put the shoulders in a good position. If I'm going through a bench press motion, and I've got the bar set up, I'm laying flat back on the bench, and as I bring the bar towards my chest, you can see here, my shoulder right now is in a good position, but it's pretty much at its end range of where it's going to be able to extend to without getting any anterior humeral glider where the shoulder dips forward. And so what that looks like is if I keep coming down, my shoulder has to dip forward. And this could irritate my biceps tendon, my labrum, and a bunch of other things. And so what we can do to change that is bring the shoulder blades together and just have a small arch. That's going to help reduce the stress on the shoulder. And so this is what I would say everyone should at least have for an arch, no matter what sports you're training for. If you are doing bench press, you should have at least a minor arch that looks like that. Now, if we go over and we start looking at powerlifting, we're going to want to try and increase that so that we can reduce the range that the bar has to travel. The more aggressive my arch, so if I have this much of an arch, the bar has to travel this far, but if I can extend my arch out, I can reduce the range that the bar travels and lift more weight. So in saying that, let's go over and see it on the bench. What does the arch look like? Well, I can set up, I get my feet generally in place, I can adjust them as I go, and then I lay down, get my hips in place, bring my shoulders, get them planted. I work on getting my shoulder blades together. I want them as together as possible. I get my grip on the bar, keep my shoulders there, and then I walk my hips back. This is my preferred method to get into position. Then I can walk my feet so my heels are down, and then unrack the bar. And you can see here, I'm going to touch the top of my arch. So now for a lot of people, you're going to be starting off where you don't have an aggressive arch. So you see what I was just doing there? That's a moderately aggressive arch. And so if you are just beginning with this, the easiest thing to do is just work on setting up, try and get a nice strong arch, feel the tension along your back, and then work on increasing that. Then from there, you can start rolling up small towels and placing that underneath your back. You can have a partner place it in for you. And then continually increasing the diameter of what you are placing underneath as you go. So the easiest thing to do is roll up one towel, roll up 2 towels, 3 towels, etc., until you get to a fairly big diameter. From there, you can start increasing the diameter by using things like foam rollers. So I can set up, again, easiest thing to do is have a partner place it, but if you don't, I place it where right against my back when I'm setting up. So I get my hips in place where my feet are about generally going to be. Then I set up, keep my hands on, lay down, and then it's in place for me. I walk my feet into place, and I'm good to go. And then I can go through my motion, practicing with this arch. I got my butt down, my shoulders down, all the requirements. And as I go, I can increase the diameter of that again by either taking the foam roller that I have, if it's a small one, wrapping a towel over top, or increasing to a larger sized foam roller, such as like this one. So I would go from that, and I can go and practice with this one. So let's say that you've been doing that and you're still not quite at the arching level that you want to be at. There's a few other things that we can do to improve that. The easiest thing to do is to utilize a foam roller and roll out the area. So we want to particularly work on improving the arch through the thoracic spine, so where your ribs are. So I set up with the foam roller right here underneath my ribs. I can cross my arms and just gently roll out that area. As that gets easier, I can then start working on keeping my arms crossed and arching back. As I get better with that, I can take my arms overhead and work on that as well. Once we get an arch that way, from there we start out to getting into more challenging ways to increase it, but we can do things like bridging, where I'm set up and I can place my hands on the ground and go up. Doing holds here can be a good way to work on improving that arch strength. So that's the first in our series for the Powerlifting for Aesthetics model. We're going to be bringing you videos every week, as I said, and we're going to try and teach you guys as many aspects of powerlifting as we can week by week, just keeping them into a short video. So hope you enjoyed it. Give us a like, and see you soon.